So this is not a review. This is a video that is more about theory. Sometimes, was that a question? No, it was not a question. It's about theory, period. Sometimes I do this, I have done this in the past a little bit more than I do now, but sometimes people ask me things that I think warrant a video. I know I have the Consult the Doctor series, and I didn't want to put this in here. You'll figure out why later. But sometimes I think we should just talk a little bit about theory. So one question that I receive from a lot of people is something along the lines of, Stephen, I am new to fountain pens. I am a little confused what kind of items I should carry around or are useful to carry around if I use fountain pens. Now, I've been using fountain pens for a while, so I have found out some things that actually are really helpful to have around when you really love using fountain pens. And today I wanted to share those with you. So I would say get a bag. Any sturdy bag will do that has a reasonable capacity, and I'll talk you through what it is I carry around. Okay, so here I have a 45-liter Rothko bag, and I will show you what I put in it. So a good place to start is some pens, right? You take some pens. So I happen to have here, sorry, I just have to get one out a little bit because it slips deeply inside there. Exactly. Here I have my everyday pen case. I've had this case for a long time. If you've been a regular viewer, you know this. Today, Carry pens are a Conid classic pens, Lambrou pens, the LB6. There is a this is actually a really nice pen I recently got in from TNZ to review, and here I have the Enso Puma Pocket, which is very nice. So I mean, your pens, right? Does it have to be a 4-pen case? No, it does not. But you're carrying a pen, right? Could be just one fountain pen. You put them in. I like to put this in a side pocket of a bag so that I have quick access to it. What else do you need? Well, you need more pens because you love fountain pens. So you take another pen case. Here I have 4 pens. These happen to be a Rushi. Yours don't have to be a Rushi, but you definitely need more than 4 pens. That's not enough. So you take another 4 pens and you also put them in. Okay? What else can I put in this side? Make efficient use of the space you have, right? I think what would be very useful for me is to also put in a little bit of paper. So I happen to have these 2 notebooks. Every time Yo sends me something to review, he sends me one of these. I don't know what to do. I have dozens of them. So please stop. No, I'm just kidding. Bit of paper, always useful. So put that in your pocket as well. I think this is getting a little bit full. So I'm just going to zip this up. And I'm just going to turn this a little bit so I have this other side pocket because I need to carry a lot more as a pen user, right? What do you need to be able to write with fountain pens? You need ink. So you take the only ink you need, B.R.E. Brown, right? You don't need any other ink because this is number 1. So why try harder? So you take your B.R.E. Brown, you put it in a side pocket of your bag, and just to be sure, you take another bottle. And to be entirely fair, while you're at it, you may as well take another bottle because you never have enough ink. So with 3 times 60 milliliters, I think that's going to serve you well, right? You're going to do a lot of writing. You love fountain pens. You have all these pens with you, so let's do it that way, okay? 180 milliliters of ink, that should cover it. It's very wise, by the way, to use a backpack with some sort of Molly or Pals webbing so you can put more pouches on it because, again, you're really going to need that space. What else can you carry that is probably useful? I think that at this point I have 8 pens. That's not going to cut it because I love fountain pens. So I also take this, right? Because you never know what you're going to need. You take that and you also put that in your bag. Because now I have a lot of options. I have different types of nibs, filling systems. That's exactly what I need. Speaking of ink, some of those pens actually only take cartridges. So you probably need to take a lot of cartridges like this. Okay, there's a lot of cartridges full of ink. May as well put them in a side pocket, right? Then you always know where they are. Just put them in and then you have them. Oh, and actually, speaking of smaller objects, you definitely need a loop. If you have some sort of time misalignment on the spot, you've got to be able to correct that and you need a loop. So 10 power loop with a light goes into the pocket as well. Let me think. What else do you need? Crucial, obviously. paper. All right, you need paper. So you take a notepad, so you have some paper on the go, always useful. I would also take a notebook, and to show that you're fancy, you put it in a leather cover. So you put that in as well. Now I have some more paper. And actually, come to think of it, you should also take this, because that's just another leather folio. So you have other options for paper. And come to think of it, I don't really like them here. I think we should actually put them in here. So you open up your bag and just start stuffing as much as you can. That won't fit, but this will, I think. You just stuff that in there. And maybe this will fit. Yeah, a little bit of fiddling, that'll fit. And while I'm at it, not everyone likes leather, so you probably also need something that is actually canvas. So here I have a canvas notebook. That is notebook sleeve, pouch, case, whatever. Put that in there. That's good. Now I've freed up a lot more space in here, which I think is going to be very helpful to me. I already had this, right? So I'm going to put that in just a second. Problem is though that all of the paper I've shown you is a notepad and notebooks. That's not good enough. You also need to carry letter paper. So bring a box with letter paper and envelopes. Probably also a couple of stamps. It would be wise to put that in as well. Now, at this point, you're pretty close to being there, but you're not entirely there yet. Okay, so there's a couple of other things that I would recommend you to carry around on an everyday basis if you're really serious about fountain pens. First of all, fountain pens of Japan, because at any point in time, you can think to yourself, gee, what's that fountain pen from Japan? And then you say, well, actually, that is this particular pen, which is very exclusive, and now I know. So you take that book and you put it in your bag. But unfortunately, not every pen you run into is a Japanese pen. So you should also carry fountain pens of the world, just to be sure, right? Because you never know, you may run into this pen, right? And you don't know what it is, but now you do, because you can identify it because you have the book. So you put that in your backpack as well. Now, certain things may be very specialized. For example, you could run into a fountain pen from the US. So for safety, I would take it. I would bring this book as well. So we're just going to slip that in there. It should just fit. I think we can make this fit. I'm just going to move this around a little bit. There we go, because this paper can rest really comfortably on top. Here's another book, Jonathan Steinberg. It's always good to have multiple information sources, because these days everybody thinks that Facebook is news anyway. So have multiple sources. Take this book, put it in. You may as well. You trust me, you're going to thank me later for this, right? Now I have my leather notebook cover, and I have my box of letter paper and envelopes that fits very nicely right on top here. Is there any other stuff you need? Yes, there is. You need to bring an empty ink bottle so you can show people what fountain pen ink looks like in a bottle, but you don't want to show off your S.B.R.E. Brown because it's the most popular ink in the world. It has definitely knocked Parker Pen and Sapphire off its throne, so people may jump you and may actually try to take the S.B.R.E. Brown ink from you. So if people ask you, what does a bottle of fountain pen ink look like? You just have this as an empty bottle to show them. Plus, if people at a pen meet want to give you samples, you have something to put it in that is a lot classier than those little sample vials. So put that in somewhere. What else do you need? Well, it's going to be a mess. Let's be fair. It's going to be a mess, so you take a couple of napkins. You just get them for free. I think this is Wendy's. I forget what this is. Anyway, you just get them. This one's already used, right? This is absolutely not the blood of a ballpoint user. It's just ink, really. You just put that in, so you have that, so you can clean up any messes. And because sometimes things really get pretty messy, I would also take a towel, just to be sure. And this bag has a flap, so I can just sort of roll this up and put it there. Any other things I need? Yeah, probably. You need some sort of container that you can use to mix ink, because some people love to mix ink, so make sure you have an empty container. That goes in there. And also get some microscope slides, just so you can quickly look at ink consistency under a microscope, just quickly on the go, so you have that opportunity. I would only recommend 2 more things to bring, maybe three, because you have all your letter paper, and then you sit down somewhere and you need to have a cup of tea. So you also, as a fountain pen user, need to carry around some tea. This is Assam, it's loose leaf, obviously. greatest tea in the world, so you have to carry this around. So you do need to find a spot for that. I think it fits right in there. The final two items that I would recommend for anyone is a calculator to see how much debt you're in after purchasing all this stuff. So that's really important that you have that. And because this bag is now a little on the heavy side, it's a little on the heavy side, but it's completely worth it. I would strongly recommend the use of a hydration bladder. Serves two functions. First of all, you can fill it with water and actually drink so you don't die, which is important because you'll be carrying a very heavy bag. Second thing you could do with this is fill it up with S.B.R.E. brown ink and just spray it like that at ballpoint users, because it's like holy water and they disappear. It's awesome. It works really well. So you can do that. And the final thing maybe that I'd recommend is you take a little cushion. This serves two functions. If you have an expensive pen, you can put it on here so it doesn't become scratched. And the second use is if you are completely exhausted from carrying this weight, you can use it for a quick nap. So you take that, you take this flap. Now you're gonna have to make it work, but as you can see, if I stretch everything out, it sort of fits. Cinch that shut a little bit, and you're done. This is what you need to carry. Yeah, it can easily be lifted, as you can see, so not really a big deal. You can do this. Now you carry everything that the average fountain pen user carries, and you are completely prepared for your day as an experienced fountain pen user. I hope this was useful. And it's just a little bit of parody. Really? You're not serious? No, I was really not serious. But sometimes I think in our day and age, especially this day and age, we need to have a little bit of a laugh. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll gladly see you again later. Bye-bye.